I have some small questions that'll be quick. And then I love the idea of talking about metadata and making your website more searchable and what social media has to do with anything. But my little questions are, first of all, for an event. Sometimes I want to post something that does not have a time. And the system requires that I put in a time, and I'm afraid this might confuse people reading it. Is there any way to choose not to do time?
That is a good question. It is unfortunately that way that it either has to be a specific time that you set or the option of choosing all day. Um, those are the only two options because it is required to have some kind of time stamp for the event.
I
Okay.
think that the default for that recently changed so that it was expecting me to put in a second time. Or maybe I'd cloned something that was like that.
You
Maybe that's
can,
what it was.
I think, are you referring to like the end time of the
Yeah,
event? I
yeah,
think there's an option to provide that as well. Let me see if I can pop over to an
yeah,
event.
there is. But usually I always just do the start time and I don't click something to get the end time. But maybe I was cloning an event that somebody had done that with. And
And
so
they
I was
selected
thinking
that.
it was the default. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
see.
my basic emails don't have an end time. I have to find that little box and make it an option. Well, my
Or,
other,
oh,
well, other little question is, if I have something that's sticky or been promoted to the front page and the two separate questions, is there some way to do that without going to a new draft?
yes. So I'm already here on manage content. It's from your administer league site menu that you'll reach manage content. And it is by the little check boxes by each item. And then using the operations, you can promote things
Oh,
to the
for
front
Pete's sake.
page. Um, as far as stick, this will not affect the front page, but it'll affect any other list. But you have a lot of different operations that you can do.
I've
Um,
just not done that. I've just looked at the lower part of that page. Okay.
yeah, no, yeah, this is
Okay.
a powerful little tool here. And then one thing too, once you select the operation you want to do, remember to hit execute. I forget that all the time, and I'm just sitting here waiting like,
Ah,
why isn't it doing anything? So once you hit execute, you'll see the change.
Susan, I was wondering with the ones where you don't actually have a time, maybe they aren't events. Maybe they should be articles.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
no, because let's say, well, this is not a good example because there is a time, but I just want to tell people there's an election on this day.
Oh, I see.
But that's an example that actually does have a time. I can fish
Mhm.
around and say, okay, the polls open at 7 o'clock, so I can put in 7 o'clock. I don't want to put in all day. Or I want to say this is Wave Your Flag Day. I don't need a time for Wave Your Flag Day.
mhm. Well, you could do all day.
I think I'd have to. Yeah, I just thought
You're,
maybe I
yeah,
get rid of it.
yeah, I see what you're saying though, that
Yeah.
there are some like that
Oh, that's
because
okay.
you want
So
them in the calendar.
definitely. Show end date is that extra option that you're referring to, Liz. So it's not only the end time, but the end date as well that you
Which
can
is a little bit,
choose.
yeah, you would really like just to say from 12 to 2, right? And there's not, if you put the same date, it's not quite the same as saying from 12 to 2 on the same day.
I think that once you see the published side, let's see. Yeah, it does like
Oh, it's
shorten
smart
it.
enough.
Yeah, it
Okay.
condenses it down. But yeah, when you are specifying it, I think by default the end date is taken from the start date. I believe that that's the case. But yeah, unfortunately, let's try it. I'm pretty sure we can't leave it without a time here. Try saving that as a draft. Yeah. do need a date and time. Okay. Susan, did you say you had another question?
No, it's just those two little ones.
Oh, okay.
And that business about metadata and also anything to make the site more searchable. I'd be very interested in that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I pulled open this documentation because it was recommended on the homepage. The metadata is, a lot of it is by default filled out because we always provide a title. Usually there's going to be something, and this is like an image of of an article on the back end. We usually have something in the beginning of the body, which then becomes the summary. So we build in these pieces that the title then becomes what we see as the title on a search engine result page. The body or the summary becomes the little description for the search engine result. And then our images would come up as well if they were doing an image search with our different terms. Well, why don't I drop this link? It's probably best for me to just go over live with you where the sections are, and then you can check out this documentation on your own time. So coming back to, let's just play with this event. Every single page or content item, it doesn't matter if it's an article, an event, your home page, a position, whatever it may be, as long as you have a new draft button, at the very bottom, you're going to have the meta tag section. And so by default, we have some sections already filled out. Like I was saying before, the page title that you fill in gets filled in by default here in the basic meta tags. So the this portion on the left gets picked up from what is in the title of this page. So I believe that I have this thing titled event. So we would see just the word event on this side, on the left side. And then on the right side, site
Is
name.
it the whole title?
The whole title as.
Yeah, if the event had 10 words in it, would there
Mhm.
be 10 words in this spot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't we change it so we can see the change? Event for October. Call that event for October. So we'll see that the node title will change dynamically with whatever I'm changing the title to. The site name is going off of MyLO, so it always remains as MyLO. You definitely can make changes in these places. So I've recommended this before for especially your homepage. If you find that people are having a hard time recognizing your site when they're Googling it or searching for it online, you can, instead of having the site name, which would read MyLO, you can say League of Women Voters, just to, have something a little bit more specific for them. It is up to you to make the changes you want here. And then the description, same as before, as I was saying, the beginning of your body area, the body text, will be taken as the beginning of your summary. So about 320 characters, a small little paragraph of the beginning of whatever is in your body.
Or if you make your own.
Yeah, or if you make your own. So coming up to the body section, I can have different text here. And then if I wanted to have something else, then I can have two different messages so that if I do have something else here, then this phrase, something else, would appear on the search engine results. And the same as if I promoted this event to my front page, the summary would show up instead of the body.
if you do have something in summary, is it the first line in body then ignored totally, or can it come into play as well?
It will, that's a good question. The body will only come into play once you click to view the entire event. So why don't I'll go ahead and publish what I have so far. So I changed the second half of the page title meta tag, and then we have something in the body and the summary. And why don't we promote it while we're at it? So we may not see the change if I Google this page, but so I have different text there. When I click on to my home page, I should see the phrase something else. So this, the way that it behaves on the front page is similar to how it would behave on a search engine result that the summary would display instead of the body.
Okay, so what you're saying is within MyLO, you're going to see one piece here and the other piece there. But as far as any search engine is concerned, they will only look in the summary section. If there's something up there, that's it.
Correct.
But
Okay,
they aren't, but the search engine is not really looking in the summary section. It just knows what the metadata has at the top of the page. So MyLO
Yeah,
constructs.
it's MyLO that's
It's
pulling the summary.
Yeah, not the search engine.
Right.
Because if she shows you the HTML for the resultant page, you'll see at the top this kind of information in the metadata, right?
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
could see, you can
We
see
can
it.
check that out just by inspecting any
Well,
web page. You will always have the metadata sitting up at the top. This is definitely going to be a lot of information, but we don't need to know everything that's here. I just definitely want to point out that the meta tag tags are located in the head of the HTML document. The way that bots crawl our sites to be able to gain this information for search engines is through the HTML, and they are just going not line by line, but they are looking at what is in the head because it's taking priority. Bots are usually not crawling to see what's in the body because that's quite a ways away down the HTML. So that's why the meta tags are pretty important to make sure that the search engines know what's relevant about this page. So we
but
see
we're looking at the homepage, aren't we?
we are
We should probably be looking at the resultant, the page where
for the
this,
event.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we see, so we can even find those things that we put in the summary.
The changes.
Yeah.
Mary Jo is joining us. Yeah, so like I said, the head has all the meta tags here. And we have, let's see, something else. Here it is. Meta name is the description, and the content is something else. So
Right.
that shows us, even though we don't see it here on the page, we know that this is what is going to be provided to the search engines when they're looking for the description of this web page.
Ooh.
Well-
I gotta excuse myself. I forgot to do something. I'll be back.
Hi, Mary Jo.
Hey, Mary Jo. You're muted there.
I didn't hear my phone go off to remind me, darn it.
No, no worries. The good thing is we have it recorded.
If my overall piece of content has a lot of different information in it,
Mhm.
and I want to be sure, or I would like a robot or search thing to find the bits and pieces, somehow I have to mention each of the pieces in my summary or it won't notice them. Is that correct?
For the most part, you do also have another tool at your disposal in the meta tags, and it's the keywords. Some search engines may not prioritize the keywords as much as others, but it is another way that you can try to provide some relevance to your content and not have to stuff the summary with every little term that you'd like to have in there. So down at the bottom, we have here the keywords section. You can type words, phrases, whatever it may be. It doesn't need to be capitalized or not, just separated by a comma. And I would recommend a space as well, just to keep it easy to read for yourself. But you can add as many different words or phrases, just keep separating them by a comma. And then we can also check out if they show up in the meta tag.
So is the keywords field in everything that has a new draft option?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, so every content item that allows you to change the meta tags, it will have the keywords there as well. So I'll
oh,
go ahead.
then what are abstract and description while we're down there?
The description is what we were talking about earlier. If you don't have anything in the summary, it's taken from the body, the first few lines.
Okay, all right. All right.
The abstract is not entirely sure. I think that this is an older version of description. I'm assuming that description has just taken over for the abstract.
Okay. Yeah, it says no longer supported by major search engines. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll add the word abstract and see if it does appear in the meta tags when we're looking at the HTML. But definitely, if you have the description filled in with that token, or if you specify the description yourself here, you'll be good to go. You won't have to worry about the abstract.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and publish this, and let's check that out. Okay, so we can't see the change here, obviously, because it's meta tags, but let's go ahead and inspect the page and see what our meta tags say now. Always going to be located in the head. And here we have it. So the abstract does both, the abstract and the keywords do appear up in the top with the other meta tags. But like I said, the abstract, I'm not sure how much importance it has, but they're
Sure.
there.
So what has all of this to do with social media, which is where we started with that page that you had up on the documentation?
Oh, right. Well, it helps to allow folks to find you. Not only is it helpful in online searches, but that just translates to social media as well, to have folks easily find you and provide relevant terms for your content, so that if folks are, searching, or let's say they have been following their Secretary of State, but they are not following their League of Women Voters yet, just based on relevant terms that, or relevant media that they're already following, having more descriptive words and things like that, where your league would be coming up more often in searches, would be helpful in connecting folks like that are not yet following you or clued into your social media.
So that's social media as opposed to a browser search.
Right. They're very similar as far as the types of things that you would want to do to promote yourself in those ways. There's a lot of overlap.
Okay.
Between the two.
So Amaris, you were talking about keywords, and but typically when I do a calendar event or an article, I do a tag.
Oh, yes.
So what I guess I didn't notice the keyword. Is keywords also going to be on the must, because that's a calendar event, so it must have been.
Yeah. Yeah, let's show those both off. So the meta tags are for bots to see. They are helpful to increase your search engine optimization. They're helpful to increase your relevance in social media. And then on the other side, tags that you're mentioning, they are to help the visitors see the interconnectedness of us leagues on MyLO. So
Oh,
let me go ahead and add a tag.
I
So tag,
misunderstood.
let's see, maybe once I add one, it might be a little bit easier. The tags are different than the meta tags because they will show up on the page when we are looking at the event. And I'll be able to click it to see who else has posted. So I've added advocacy. Let's just go ahead and publish so I can show you what that looks like. So as soon as you add a tag, you get the header of tags and you get a
Right.
link to that tag.
Okay.
By clicking on that link, we get to see every other league on MyLO that has the same tag on
Okay.
whatever event or whatever article. So it
I have
is,
noticed that. Yeah.
yeah, it is not for the bots, really.
Okay.
I mean, it does.
I completely misunderstood that then when we were talking a way ago about, how people find you by Googling. And that was what I think was
Well,
suggested by
it
that
does.
dear Elizabeth.
It does improve it because it is not the same as the meta tags, but it does help in increasing the possibly increasing your traffic because you have link backs and you are making your content available in additional places. So not only can you get to my event from my own website, but now from this tag list, you can get to my event as well. So it just provides additional spots for reaching your content, and that just increases the availability of your content. It'll possibly even increase the spot where you show up on search engine results, all kinds of good things. But the main difference between meta tags and these kinds of tags that you can add to events or articles are that you get this cool link that you can see other leagues, see what they're up to as far as whatever the tag is.
Well, that's new. That's new for me. So I'm glad that Susan brought that up apparently.
Yeah, I'm glad that you asked, because tags is a powerful tool that I often forget about, but yeah,
I
it is.
misunderstood what its purpose was.
No worries.
So the actual tag that you choose makes quite a difference. If I chose the tag Beetlejuice, which is the name of a star, I'm not going to get too many hits coming up.
Right. Yeah. So there is a chance of the tag that you've entered being the only tag, or the first time that it has been entered.
Yeah.
And that's all right. Once you create it, it is built in the system so that if somebody does start to type in that same thing, then it'll begin to narrow it down. So let's see. Well, I mean, obviously voter is going to be there, but once you start typing something, you'll see it gives you kind of a limited list of results that already exist. But once you continue to type, it will then continue to narrow down even further. And then obviously, once you've gotten too specific, then it will just not show you any results, but you'll still be able to add in that new custom tag that you're trying to add. And then there's a note here that the capitalization does matter and that spaces are allowed. I believe, though, that I think that the capitalization may not make a difference. So let's test that out just by adding essentially the exact same tag. Yeah, it's not gonna make a difference. The only reason is that because the URL here doesn't use capitalization. Here at the top, the address is always going to be lowercase, or it will default to that. So capitalization does not matter. All lowercase advocacy and capitalized A advocacy ended up being the same tag. But if you brought up a good point, Susan, of the example of Beetlejuice. If your league had a tag that was just custom to your league, you could just keep adding those tags to your events and articles, and then you'd have this cool other kind of feed page that you would have kind of unique to your own league.
Yeah.
So that's an idea.
So that would take her or people that came on and clicked Beetlejuice after they were looking maybe at a current article, they would see all the either the calendar events or articles that had to do with Beetlejuice on in Arbor's League. Okay.
As long as they were tagged.
Exactly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, we are no longer Ann Arbor.
I know. You're Washtenaw County.
It's official now.
It's official, but we don't know our official name.
Oh.
Neither the state nor national are able to tell us if there is an of in our name or not. So we mumble when it gets to that point.
Are you Washtenaw County?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you, as far as name recognition goes, you were better off with Ann Arbor.
Oh, tell me about it. Yes. There, a very few anguished voices spoke out and said, no. But for internal use, it really matters because we have members across the county. We have sections of the county that feel neglected and are aggrieved about it. And this gives them some recognition, and we hope to bring them in.
Yeah, we have a bunch of towns that are part. It's the League of Women Voters of Wheaton, but serving. We say serving, and then we list all the towns.
Yeah, that's what we used to do. Right. And
They
by the
haven't
way,
complained yet.
by the way, I'm the one who grew up in Wheaton, Liz.
I know. I was going to tell Amarise that we had this connection.
Yep.
That is awesome.
Well, I don't know if Susan thought it was awesome or not. It's a very conservative community compared to Ann Arbor.
Tell me about it.
Anything compared to Ann Arbor. So Amarise, I actually have 3 concrete things to ask you about, but I wouldn't, take up all the time, but I would like to just list them, and then maybe you could decide which ones were appropriate to discuss with everyone, and then maybe the other one maybe afterwards. But let me just go.
Sure.
Okay. So the first one is so we wanted to thank our donors. And so I did create, or somebody created a slide, and I made it, from a PDF and everything. However, okay, so see where the caption line, it's covering some names, and we wanted to know, is there any way, I think you've talked about this before, any suggestions? And I don't know if you want to go to my page, but I think you probably get this question before.
Yeah, this is unfortunately there. The minimum that you can put is just the title, leaving the caption blank, so that you wouldn't have it double in size. But you definitely do need to have at least the title there.
And the title is the League of Women Voters. That's
the title of this slide. So whatever your title is would have that white band behind it, an opaque white band.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
When I wanted to get rid of something, I put a period in and nothing more, and it satisfied the need to have something in a particular field. Now I forget which field I was grappling with, but you could try that.
If you'd like, I can
you go to mine?
Make a change to one of them. Do you want to see what it would look like with the period as the title, or do you want me to check out yours, Mary Jo?
Now, if you could go to mine, you might have some other ideas.
Yeah. Let
Um,
me-
you know, then somebody said, well, we could have 3 pages. We could have one just for donors, one just for members, and, you know, do the, you know, the word configuration a little different, but, you know, I don't want to have 3 pages for donors. So right now we've got 2.
And they're 2 different slides.
Yeah.
Slideshows. Okay. Let me go ahead and mix with you.
And then I have another question about slides too. I have a
Okay.
picture, but it keeps showing up sideways. And I think you've talked about that too.
Oh yeah, that's always a fun one because it's
Because I
It's
learned
always-
how to resize it. I mean, because that was one of the ones that said too big. So then somehow, I don't know, I don't know how, I figured out how to resize it. And so I did. And so that was not an issue, but it's sideways.
okay. We'll-
Okay,
we'll
so it
definitely
should,
tackle
it
that
should
one.
show up for the next one.
This one here.
Yeah.
Okay. So, one option it would be offline off of MyLO to edit the image and give it some kind of border so that the image itself kind of goes to the center of this window here for the slide, if that makes sense. I'm assuming that the image itself is doesn't have very much kind of extra space around the borders. So that's probably why it's extending pretty far. And, you know, we're kind of getting a cutoff of the logo. We're seeing the names going under the title. So that would be one way, but you would have to edit it
I don't,
offline.
so what you're saying is the best advice is, you know, if it makes sense, is to just not have anything lining up with the caption line or below it. I mean, just somehow fix it so that everything's above.
Yeah, it would be, you know, taking the image you have now. Do you want me to show what
Well,
I'm
you
talking
know,
about with
well,
one of these?
You know, I was just thinking, so if we didn't have anything typed in there, you still wouldn't be able, even though
would
it was blank, you could still not see. It would still obliterate the words, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't be so blocked, but this white opaque bar would still be on top.
Okay, so you wouldn't be able to see the names, I don't think.
Do you want me to show you
Yeah,
the
go for
edits
it.
on the image?
Sure.
Now go ahead and find one of those.
Oh, you mean, oh, okay.
Well,
I'm just going to
multiple-
use,
multiple
um,
images, right? There,
what was
you
it?
have you have more than one, right? You have
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to try it out on one of these. So, oops, let me click on it so I can download the larger version. So let's save this. Okay, so I'm just going to use Paint 3D.
Oh, I'm not gonna have an object for this.
Here we go. Okay, so we can mess around with the canvas. I am just going to, instead of resizing it, I want to extend it out so that it has some extra space all the way around. The sides aren't too big of a problem because we aren't seeing the cutoff from the sides, we're seeing the cutoff from the top and the bottom. So I would just recommend to add some space up in the top and the bottom. As far as how much, it's a little hard to tell, but at
Wait,
least
wouldn't you want it more in the bottom than the top?
I think that this portion was also getting cut off, but I think that's a good.
Yeah, you didn't see it at all. The top
Okay.
line was the word community.
Let me come back to see that that version of the slide as well. So this was the one with the longer names on the left side.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's-
I don't know if that's a little jarring. Let's see if I can bring it back up.
Huh.
So it looks like we are getting the last three names cut off, and then the header is getting cut off. So let's try it like this. I am I'm just going to upload this as a different version of the image. Is that fine, Mary Jo?
Yeah. Yeah. Beyond me.
Okay. So, and what I'm doing now, just to not have this be white, I'm copying the color that you already have here in blue, and let's fill it in. There we go. Okay. So we'll save this as the new.
It's a nice idea to thank the people. I didn't even
Yeah.
think.
And yeah, that's a nice slide to have too. It's a feel-good slide, I feel like. Okay, let's just upload the file by itself. And what I'll do is just quickly swap this new image on your current slideshow item and see what it looks like. If it looks wonky, we're just going to change it back to the other.
Yeah. And then I think she's just going to work with just rearranging what it looks like on the page, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I've not had success just swapping one slide for another or one image for another. I've had to remove the image and then replace. So
You
that will
do,
be,
Yeah, that's
you
what I
do
do.
have to remove it and then browse the media library again. So
oh,
I'll
all right.
yeah, I'll show you right now what that'll look like, because it sounds like you're probably doing it correctly.
Yeah, well,
Um,
you can't just replace one with another. That's,
you
I
can. I'm
think
not
it's either
sure.
remove or
Mhm.
edit, I think.
Yeah, it's not the word replace, but it's the word remove, and then you go and browse again.
yep, that's what I do.
And that's the way to do it. I will leave the file description and alt text for you to change if you'd like, Mary Jo. I put something very simple. Okay, so I'm going to come back to the home page so I can find the slideshow item so I can edit it. Let's narrow this down to slideshow items. And do you know which one it is? Otherwise, I can just click through both of them.
Yeah, I should have done something. I don't know remember which was which.
No
I
worries.
know the one you worked on was
Here we go.
that's the one.
Okay, so let's try. So if you have an existing image, you do have to remove it. The edit button, if you click on edit, this is allowing you to replace this file. So it would
Oh.
not be replacing, not only would it be replacing what would be seen on your page, but if anybody else is using this file, you're changing it for them too. So if you do want to just
I
swap
got it.
for a different image, remove is the way to go.
Yeah.
But edit is there because we have had, there's instances where you just want to make the swap to the image and you don't need to have two different versions of whatever that file is.
Hmm.
Oh, now let's find under my files, we have the new one. Okay, so let's check this out. I'm going to just go ahead and publish it, fingers crossed. Okay, so we can't really see the difference here, but let's check that out on the front page. Okay, so we got a little somewhere, definitely not all the way to where we need to be.
Well,
There's one more name showing.
you answered the question, though. There's no way to get rid of it.
Okay.
It can be blank. Well, it can't be blank. Can it be blank?
It cannot be blank.
Okay, it has to have something there. Okay,
Mhm.
so even if we just put something like thanks or something at the beginning, it would still just the
Run
line
across the
itself would
whole.
be covering up names. Okay, so you've answered one of the questions. Okay, so it can't be fixed easily.
Yeah, unfortunately. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
ahead and change it back to the
Yeah, let's
previous
go back
page
if you don't
had.
mind. Thanks.
Yeah.
I usually, I try to figure out how much of the whole image it's covering and try to
Right.
replicate and make an 800 by 400 that has all the content I want them to see above
Yeah, that's
that
what we'll have to
lower
do.
part.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that
that's a good point.
takes a little work, but it's certainly doable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is probably the easiest way, because you know that you're working within the same window that the slideshow item would be displaying in by 800 by 400. So then you can really pinpoint where it would be blocked by the title line.
I don't know how you would do that with a Word document, but I'm not gonna worry about it.
With a
With a
Word
Word
document.
document.
Well, I mean, that's how I started. It's a Word document, or my partner did. So, I mean,
Oh, I see. It's I mean, just as long as before you upload, if you look at it on an image editing program, I know Paint 3D has it. I'm not sure of any other major ones that do, but that program allows you to resize the image with the canvas. So you can resize it so that it is exactly 800 by 400, even if you're starting out with something that's much larger.
and what'd you say, Paint 3?
Paint 3D.
Paint 3, like 3?
3D, like three-dimensional.
Yeah, okay. Paint 3D. Oh, I got it. Okay.
And I believe that is the image. Let's zoom in a little. Yeah. Go ahead and publish that. All right. Did we have any other questions? We have time for maybe one more.
Well, I was just, okay, so the other two questions I had to do one of the sideway picture. That would
Oh,
be,
yes.
but the third question is about changing something on our donation page, which I think has to do with PayPal, and it might get a little in the weeds. I don't know. But this,
Okay.
yeah, so I've got it. So it's in my media library, and I
Okay.
wanted to add it to the slideshow. And but when I went to do it, it's just showing up sideways.
Okay. And so my first question is, did this picture originally get taken by a phone? By a mobile phone?
Yes.
Okay. That's usually when
remember
we
you
see
talking
that
about that.
happening. Yeah.
Now that you mention it.
And I'm not sure if it happens for every phone user. I feel like it is happens most often for iPhone users.
Oh, it's not, well, I don't know if it's in the media library yet. I guess, it must be, because it's in my media, it's in the media library. It should be the most recent one,
I didn't see
or
it.
one of the most recent ones.
I didn't see it. I'm coming back up to the top. Let's check it out.
And you went under my files? Okay.
Let me make sure. Yep, I'm still masquerading as you.
Oh, that's weird. Darn it.
I'm not sure why I'm not seeing it.
It's a group picture. Damn. Okay. Huh.
But I mean, I will say the last time that this happened to somebody, what I ended up doing to fix it was I downloaded the image to my phone, and then I edited the image just to rotate it 4 times. So
on your phone?
On my phone, because I did
Oh.
try rotating it on my computer, and
Right.
then I re-uploaded it and it made no difference.
Now I remember you saying that. So then I just sent it to my email, like that's what I typically do, and then okay. All right,
Yeah.
I'll try that.
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna feel
I
silly
remember
because
talking about that.
yeah. But that's what worked. And so yeah, try because it's gonna probably look right side up when you download it to your phone, but rotate it until it comes back up to
Yeah.
its original spot. Yeah. And then once you upload it, let me know if it's
I
right
will.
side
I
up or
appreciate that.
sideways.
Yeah. Then the other thing, like I said, PayPal is probably everybody knows has increased its prices, or its
Oh,
takeaway.
the fee.
Yeah, the fee. So on our join renew page, I was able to fix. There are two places where if you go to join renew, I was able to change there was stuff in the table, but then when you actually go, so I was
Here.
able to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was easy. But when people actually go to renew,
Like after filling out the form.
after filling out the form, and of course, I didn't try that. I don't know. Would I be, if I did just a small donation thing? Do you think I'd be able to do it
And what do you mean?
as an
as small as
administrator? I mean, I don't know.
what are you referring to as a
Well, what
small
I'm
donation?
trying to, well, what I'm saying is, I guess, it's actually, oh darn it, actually, I did get to the, I know my treasurer person did give me the link.
And I pulled up your confirmation page for the
maybe
join renew
this,
right now.
maybe, yeah, maybe this, well, it was somewhere where it didn't look like I could change it. I mean, I didn't have any, update
Oh,
or anything like that.
as far as this or this whole page?
Well, I'm thinking it was a different step or a different page, but all I know is, darn it. I should have sent it to you ahead of time.
So what is it that you're trying to do? Did you?
Well, somewhere, well, even somewhere there must be talking about how much you actually pay. Well, that is okay. Okay, so that's what I need to change. Yeah,
This one here.
maybe that is the page. Okay. Yeah.
So
I
are you trying to have it? Well, this has it updated automatically, or are these the old prices?
those are those. Oh, shoot. I don't know.
I do have your.
I think they must be the old ones.
I feel like I recognize the 1170. Let's see, we'll have it here.
Yeah, that's for $10. Yeah, $10.
It has gone. It looks like it is different. 6275, 90,
Okay.
415,
Okay,
1170.
okay. Yeah, yeah, okay.
So
So maybe this was the page I came to.
um
I didn't know how
the
to change it.
okay, to get to it, once you have your new PayPal code and you're ready to
What do you mean new
swap out,
PayPal code?
you need to get the button. If you want to reflect the new prices, you're going to have to update it through PayPal.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
one of, oh, so, okay. I hopefully she'll know how to do that.
Yeah.
So that'll happen
because if
automatically then.
I think so,
I mean,
because
we
if
won't have
it's,
to do anything more.
I think if it's all the price increase is all due to the fee increase, I
Yeah.
think that once you log back into PayPal and you say, generate the embed code for this PayPal button,
Oh.
it should reflect the new pricing.
So,
So,
but when you see, I'm worried she's going to have them thinking that it's going to pay cost $62.50, and then they'll put, when you go to PayPal, they'll add the PayPal fee to that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because I don't know if you want to expose the $62.50 there,
Well-
because it's going to confuse it. You can
Well-
have it in the code, but not display.
well, I think we had the discussion on our board and that's just what we ended up with. I don't know.
But you may get into trouble if you're putting a fee on top of something that you've programmed it, you thought you'd added the fee to. Does that make sense to anybody?
Well, all I can tell you is this is how we've been doing it for, a year. So, But, you know, now we have to just make sure that people know that when they go to actually pay for it, somehow the new figure will show, even though I've shown it on the previous page.
Right. I think, Liz, are you saying that that they may think that another fee is going to be added on top or another amount?
That's what I'm saying.
And then I think to Liz's point, it could just be, let's see, let's come back to the confirmation page. Or even adding it here under the
Yeah,
pricing.
let's see, does it say, let's see, you know,
Does it say
maybe
that it's a added fee.
we might want to, yeah, she's got me thinking about that.
Yeah, it might not hurt to have something at the bottom of the table.
Yeah, dues amount online. So, oh, well, here, no, it's right there. See, it says $60 check and $62.75 amount online. So, I mean, I think that's pretty clear.
But then when you go to that, the actual button
confirmation.
code
Yeah,
that you've generated in PayPal,
yeah.
I would think the amount you want to show is the actual, not with the fee added, but so that it'll add the fee to the non-online code. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not understanding it, but because this is what's going to show, this is hopefully what's going to change. That's what they're going to be paying.
No,
This is
not
the
necessarily.
PayPal. For ours, PayPal does not add the fee in the background. We have to tell PayPal what to charge our
Well,
people.
then maybe that's what she's
And it's
done.
one number. We say, charge them $50. They charge them $50. And they don't add any
Oh.
secret fee.
That's right, because
But
some
what
people
we,
don't do
but
that.
what you get,
And then we get
Oh.
$48.50 and they keep the fee. They retain the fee and give
I
us
see.
the net.
okay.
And we've decided that we're going to charge people to do it online, which, you know, but differently, to handle it differently.
Yeah.
So, but I think what Amaris is saying is that once my person gets a hold of PayPal, now you said something about some language, I forget what the word is you use. Is that something that we're going to have to input somewhere, or was it just, do you think, happen automatically? I don't know.
I am sorry, I don't recall what I was
I
referring
think
to.
you have to edit the PayPal button. And the button has this information that I mean, you're not necessarily editing the code that you got for the first.
That's the code, yeah.
The code you get should reflect the current status. And it may
don't
be, right? And this you might have edited the code thinking that was enough.
I didn't do any editing of any
No,
code.
this is still reflecting the old prices.
Oh, those are the old prices.
I just did the table, the first
Well,
page.
I think you need to go into PayPal
Yeah,
and
okay.
edit and make a new button or edit the button.
So
you already-
hopefully she'll remember how she did it originally.
Yeah. And now that I'm better understanding the prices, you will probably have to manually update the prices. It's not going to automatically increase the prices for you when you go to edit the PayPal button. So they'll still read $62.15, $93.10. So you will have to actually type in the new prices. I had said originally that you just had to
But will that be within PayPal?
Within PayPal.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be, once she signs in, let's see, I think it's My Buttons or Buttons. And I'll drop this in the chat once I actually figure out what it is. I think it's just paypal.com/buttons. Yeah, so she could even log in from this page. But this lets you create your own buttons. I think once you're logged in, there might be a spot to see like
It usually
My Buttons.
says My Buttons, yeah, in
Okay.
the upper right, I think, and you click that, and then you can see all the buttons you've ever made.
Right.
Awesome. Yeah, so that's a quick and easy way to get to it. And then once you have the new code in hand, you'll come back to the join/renew, go over to web form.
Oh, now wait a minute. Okay, repeat what you just said.
So let's say you've updated the PayPal button and you now have the new embed code ready to go.
Okay,
So travel back to your join/renew page or the form, click on web form,
oh, okay.
and then click on form settings. This is going to take you to the confirmation message section. We have it in full HTML, but to remove the old PayPal button, it's easier if you swap it from full HTML to WYSIWYG.
Oh, God. Okay.
And this is just so that you can see what you're getting rid of. Otherwise, leaving it as full HTML, you have to locate all of the PayPal HTML. So to make your life easier, using WYSIWYG, and I won't save any of these changes, but just to show you, highlight the whole thing and then you can get rid of it like that.
Oh. Okay, and then when I'm happy, then I change it back to the. And then
Change it back and
to
then
HTML.
and it looks like some of that HTML kind of stuck around. Sorry, one other thing, not only do you want to remove the PayPal button, but then backspace one more time to make sure that this goes away as well. But yeah, once you got rid of the PayPal button, then you can
What do you
paste
mean
in.
get rid of the PayPal button? You mean, I don't know what you mean. I mean, you showed me how to get, I'm deleting what was
Yeah.
in there in the confirmation message. That's what you mean by the button? All
By
right.
getting rid of it, just by deleting it.
All right.
And then once you paste that in, leave it set to full HTML and then save the configuration.
Oh, well, wait a minute. So then where do I get, so somehow from PayPal, I've gotten the new, she's gotten the new configuration, which she's going to copy and paste and send to me.
Yes,
And that's
she'll
what I'm
have,
going to be putting in there.
and it should start with form class or open caret form. It may not have class, but
But
then
that's not at the beginning of what's there.
what do you mean?
Well, so it'll look something like, it'll look familiar, similar. It'll
Yeah,
start-
at least it'll start with open caret form and then the
Okay.
ending will be just like that.
Oh, now I'm confused because what you're showing me here, this message starts with caret H2, caret final step. So I don't understand that.
You're in final steps. Oh, do you see where I'm highlighting?
Yeah, I
not su-
do. Right. But I'm just saying, why would the new coding look similar to what's already on there?
Because it's coming from PayPal. It will look as almost essentially the same as your old PayPal code.
Well, that's what I meant, but okay, I'm not gonna worry about it yet. I just hope you're around when I try to do it.
Yes. Shoot me an email or give me a call. We could even do it live together. So
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
I'll leave
I know
down
we don't want to
how
have
to-
that down, that's for sure, yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
All right. Well, I think that's it for all of us. Thank you all for joining.